Are you in love with your Canyon or Colorado? Now you're ready to add some lockers? Follow along on this video as we install ZR2 lockers into this non-ZR2 GMC Canyon. We've got this 2015 GMC Canyon on the lift because we're adding lockers and re-gearing the differentials to 4.10. It's gonna be a perfect setup for this guy that already uses his truck off-road. You can see he's got an Icon suspension lift, which makes room for these 285 Kendas. The 285s measure right around 33 inches tall, so the move to a 411 or 410 gear ratio should be just about perfect. Now, when we were talking about this build, lockers were absolutely something on the must. You can see he's got tires that provide great traction, but getting a locker inside the front and rear differentials, just like a ZR2, is exactly what he's looking for on the trail. With locking differentials, you can command 100% traction to both tires in the front and rear differentials just with the push of a button. This rear axle is the M220. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's actually a relatively common rear axle used today. In fact, Jeep uses this rear axle in their Gladiator and all of their Wranglers, including the Rubicon. Now, the ring and pinion is the same as you'd find in a Gladiator or a Wrangler, but the rest of it is a little bit different. So we're not gonna get into all that, except that this axle is a C-clip rear axle, where your normal Jeep stuff is not.
This will act as a jam nut. I'll Loctite this and put its jam nut, and then put one more nut right on top of this to give it room so that this doesn't have so much room to rotate like back and forth. Like, it's fine if it would rotate like this, but I'd prefer to try to keep it like to barely move, because like this is just gonna barely get through the housing. So I machined off of the area that part number used to be.
The installation was pretty straightforward, except for one minor modification that we had to do. You can see the locker has a little tab, and that tab needs to be indexed on the bearing cap. So what did we do? We innovated a little bit by installing a bolt into the bearing cap. That bolt and jam nut will hold that tab on the locker exactly where it needs to be. It's pretty sweet, and with a little ingenuity, we worked out a great solution. This is the front differential, and it's cool to see this when compared to the open differential. As you can see, we've got the wiring here coming out of the locker, which I said before, we're gonna drill a hole right in the top of that differential to get the wires out. You'll notice that this axle has this indicator tab also, which we need to innovate again. And like we did on the rear differential, we're gonna drill and tap a small hole that we can put a bolt in it so it can index right in the same location on that bearing cap. We're gonna run these two wires to a switch that can command the front locker or rear locker when the owner of this truck needs more traction. The lockers are a great upgrade, and they get rid of the problematic differential that came in this truck. We spent the last couple of days getting all the electronic stuff taken care of, and I want to walk you through that briefly. As you can see, to this plate, we mounted this switch controller. This is made by Auxbeam, similar to what we use from Switch Pros and S-Pod. I really like how this worked out, and I want to show you what it looks like inside, but the under hood component is essentially where all the wires end. So we wired the lockers right here, power and ground. We also included his light bar into it. The cool thing about having an electrical management system just like this one is you don't have a whole bunch of circuits strewn all over the place. It's a very organized and tidy way to get every electrical accessory that's on your rig in one place. And then it just has one simple data cable that runs inside. We removed the sunglass holder because really, who uses that thing? And we installed this 3D printed bracket that goes in its place, and the Auxbeam controller fits right in there. I was poking around on the website of the company that makes this. They also have different 3D printed inserts if you have a Switch Pros or if you have an S-Pod. So we've got everything wired up there, front locker, rear locker. We also have got the light bar and the daytime running lamp for the light bar. Worked out pretty slick. Whether you've got this Auxbeam or a very similar one is the Switch Pros. They give you little stickers, and with those stickers you can put them right on the different switches. This one comes with 8 different switches, and you can use that for, you know, whatever other electrical accessories you have, maybe reverse lights, maybe rock lights, a horn, fridge, whatever you've got. So that's pretty slick. So essentially now this guy's got a Canyon with locking diffs, an option that was only ever available for the ZR2 models. So we've got the Canyon all wrapped up. We put it in 4-wheel drive in the grass, tested out both front and rear lockers, and this thing has all the traction. What more could you want? Lockers, front and rear, was generally only reserved for Rubicons and Power Wagons and a few select other elite off-road rigs, and now this GMC Canyon has them as well. Ton of traction for when you need it the most. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you found the locker install here informative. If you like to see what we do here in the shop every single day, follow us on all of our social channels. You'll find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.